All right, welcome back for part two. So we finished up by getting the amplitude in here, and we're going to do a sine graph. When we hit graph, nothing showed up. Well, if you go to window, you'll see we didn't even start till a 22, and if the highest thing is 21.9, of course you're not going to see it. So if we make that a 0 and we graph it, there we go. So again, the sine wave drops below right here, but we set our y-min at 0, so we're not going to see it. So we need to take this peak here, and we need to somehow get it to stretch out to that peak there. So we got to change all the other stuff as well. Found the A value. Next easiest thing is to find the D value. So we have to somehow move this graph up. Well, to find the D value, all we're doing is we're taking the max and we're adding the min and dividing it by 2. So it's the same calculation that you use to find the A value. You just change your sign, and this comes out to 51.6. We go to our calculator now. We come up here. Make sure you close this parenthesis up, or it's going to interpret it as a C value. 51.6, and we graph it. Okay, so now it's scooted up. So we can see now it's where it needs to be. Again, we need to take this piece here and stretch it all the way out there. And it doesn't fit very good right now. Next thing to do is to find the B value. Okay, so we're period. Now, if we go and we think about graphing temperatures, it took 12 months to get all the way through these things. So we say period is 2 pi over b. B is what I'm trying to find. It took 12 months. Okay, if we're doing 2 years, we'd have a 24. If we were doing, I don't know, 17 days or whatever, okay, period would be a 17. Okay, whatever your full cycle takes you to get through. So these guys trade spots on the diagonal. B value comes out to pi over 6. So we go back to our calculator, make sure you're in radians. If you're not in radians, it's not going to look right. So we come in here and we insert a pi divided by 6 times x, close your parenthesis up, plus 51.6. Okay, so there's now our B value. We hit graph. Okay, so we've stretched this guy out long ways. It takes longer to get through, so we no longer have 2 peaks in the same window. We just have one. Now the last trick is going to be to get this guy to come right over to this peak right there. Okay, to do that, think about a normal sine graph. It has 3 zeros, and it does this. If this is 12 months, this is 0 months, this is 6 months, 3 months, 9 months. But March doesn't have the warmest temperature, and 9th month here, September, does not have the coldest temperatures. So we need to somehow get this peak to come over to match up with sometime in the summer. Get this peak to come over there. So you go look at your data again, and if you guys don't have your books, here it is. Here's all our temperatures. Right now we get our peak at March. Clearly isn't it? Max temperature happens at the 7th month. So I need to take this guy here and I need to shift it over 4 units, 4 months to get to my maximum in July. So if I can take this guy right here and get him to come over there, that's what I want to do. So I need it to go right 4. When you think about your equation, it's x minus c. So if I need to go right 4, C is going to be a 4, and I try that in my calculator. So I go in here, and I just come out here and I say insert a -4, and I hit graph. Okay, clearly didn't do what I wanted it to do. If you go back and you look at this though, A looks good, D looks good, I got my B in there. Here's the problem. B, the way we did it, is how it looks all factored out. So it's got your B value factored out right here, parentheses x minus C. So you got to be really careful how you put these in your calculator. So I need to come back in here, and I need to insert another set of parentheses around my x minus 4. So it looks exactly like that. Okay, B, parentheses, x minus 4, close the parentheses, close the original parentheses, then add the D on. Now if I graph it, looks pretty good. So what we could do, we're going out 13 months. We could even go out 25 months now. There's 1 year. There's the second year. So if we actually entered data for another year, we'd have that guy in there as well. Okay. Here's a little summary of everything we did. If you wanted to jot that down, because we're going to look at some of these types of problems. So amplitude, largest minus smallest, divided by 2. The up-down shift, your D value, largest plus smallest divided by 2. Period, we know is 2 pi over B. C is the toughest. So whatever you're doing, whether it's 12 months, 17 months, 65 months, divide it into 4 even intervals. Okay, that's where the max is at right now. So let's say we had something with 100. Well, this would be 0, this would be 100, this would be 50, this would be 25, okay? Shift it however many you need to get to where the max should be. So let's say my max was supposed to be at 37. Well, I would need to shift this guy right 12. So I would have a parenthesis x minus 12. And everything would match up. Okay, so come tomorrow with questions you guys have, and we'll start putting all this stuff together. Remember, your test is Friday.